Listen, listen. Vince right here, by the way. There is no reason. There is no reason for an animation like this to go this hard. But it went that hard. Ladies and gentlemen, I just finished watching Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Man, Stefan must be so excited because he's been waiting for me to actually, talk about the new Spider-Man, sooner or later. But I did. I watched it. I really couldn't like the amount of how beautiful this movie is, how colorful, how artsy, how visually the music within the it's literally graffiti in motion. It's everything that I kind of wanted within this, and I enjoyed so much of it. From the world building, different dimensions like Mudbatten and the Lego verse and the freaking other Spider-Man locations and stuff like that, go through of just the villainess of um the spot and his abilities and the fight scenes within this particular piece, this animation goodness, and seeing the returning characters, seeing Peter with a child, and seeing new characters like we never seen, the basically President Nueva, the Hispanic Spider-Man, or just or just like different kinds of Spider-Mans. We witnessed so many of them in this new universe that I'm so enthralled. I just always imagine just being a tourist and just walking around, and we got a piece of just like what does this kind of New York, Nuevo York, or whatever it's called, this futuristic world where it's populated by Spider-Mans. It's insane. The idea of the web and how that's like a sense of in life, and just how it's all interconnected from different other worlds. Like it's insane. This animation is insane. Like I don't know how it goes there. And of course, Marvel is pretty known for that. As a person that doesn't watch any Marvel, not really a fan of Spider-Man, even though I grew up with the games and stuff. This is like I can see myself sort of being a fan more than anything and replacing everything that I like through Spider-Man. That's how much I love this animation, this movie. Yes, there's some certain flaws, certain messages, it didn't go too much with the politics or anything like that, even though there's some political kind of like standing here and there, especially being introduced to Hobby. I mean, there's some listen, can I just say I love Hobby or Hobie. Like this British Spider-Man, that just is dark, and I felt his like sarcastic nature, and you sort of see through that, just his attitude and everything. It's just like I there's just something about that where I'm just so in love with him. Like I don't know what it is, but he just has that like what is that persona? Where did that came from? Like many more, like I like Hobie, and also the Indian Spider-Man. Then of course you can't go wrong with Gwen. I love Spider Gwen. Like there's just something about her that just really matches New York, really matches like the urban kind of like inter like racial kind of like vibe within Miles and Gwen, as two of them are just so perfect for each other. I don't really see any other, like, yeah, it could have been an all black couple or something. There's something about the white and black. There's something about these two couple that just blends in within the world they're in, within the environment so well. You can see how they're going through life and what life is to have spy senses and Spider-Man powers, and they did it with a comic twist, but still having that urban kind of like, realistic, real life kind of motion to it that many people in this generation would be into, and it does that so well without being too hip and too corny. And also in many ways it's kind of like a perfect taste. Like every yes, there's the whole like quipping and stuff, which is I expected for many Marvel movies, especially Spider-Man. But in this one, like all I can say, it's perfect because it is. Many people have better ways to analyze and talk about this movie, but I just couldn't bring myself to spoil or talk most about it. But understanding the true identity of what a hero goes through, boy, does it go to that. It goes deep into that. the ending, I just can't really wrap my head around of just how shocked I was seeing the other murals. Like that is something else. That is something else. And then seeing the graffiti board up top is where I was shocked. I was like, that doesn't make sense. How? But it just happened. Just everything flows in motion, and and we get into like the relationships of like Spider Gwen and her father, and of course Miles and his father, and this kind of like very complicated relationship of and but also sharing their identities, and that freedom, that itch of like just really just sharing something to your family. It's deep. It goes in there. It goes to places where it handles it in a way where it's kind of dark, emotional, especially that whole entire thing that the Latino Spider-Man, the head of Nuevo York, talked about the whole identity and idea of being a hero and the sacrifices and how things supposed to be part of the book. And then, Miles is has so many challenges, has a challenge to actually go, not to go by the book, to go through where he wants to, but how though? And, you know, again, not to spoil, but there's actually going to be another, Spider-Verse movie that is definitely going to pretty much wrap up everything that we've seen in here. Like, there's just still so more, especially from the last Spider-Man, the last Spider-Verse. There were still some things that is left out. And yes, there's part of it that I probably forgot because it was years ago. Still, everything just felt fresh when watching this one. It's the animations, the how the world is sketched in a way where it's just beautiful, and flows into a visual aesthetic piece, and you just see the world just just everything how it is blending in, like all these different universes is cool, but really adding character to that makes it immersive more so than ever, like, and then especially having that authentic culture of many cultures within these worlds that you enter in. And also, like, just the attitude and characters that we seen through these other characters. And I like about that. I like the true nature of of what this movie really holds into, and I believe there's definitely going to be more, and that will be another level of artistic value if it does, because they're living up to it. They never, it seems like they don't disappoint, and I know there's probably some, like, conversation and backlash here and there or something like that. Whatever it is, true Spider-Man, you know it really hits in the perfect notes, even though like, yes, there's some parts where some people would be like, oh, it's woken, in many cases. There's some parts where I feel like it was like almost like in the middle, instead of going right and left with its, definitely, still left, but go in the middle of just like, especially as Miles's character, that scene where Miles is like, apologizing for the baby powder or something like that, and I feel like that was like somewhat of a joke or something. I don't know, but all I can really, see through this is that with all the Spider-Mans, and especially doing the whole, like, who's Spider-Man, the point thing, meme that they pretty much did in a way in this movie where it's just, hilarious, but also artistic as well. Oh, this whole entire, movie is very artsy, but it fits in so well of just like, you really have to watch it many times, and that's the only way to actually get a better experience to watch through the movie, is watching it many times just to really get it, just to get it, just to have an understanding, just to see every inch in of experience through this movie. And I guess that's the right way to do it, because even though I wouldn't, because a lot of times I'm just a person that watches one thing and moves on to the next, unless it's like something, really, really good. And for this instance, probably, maybe it's better for me to actually watch it again to give a full kind of like, analyzation if I want to. But other than that, this is like, this is amazing. This movie just hits all the right notes for me. And my God, I love it, I don't know what score, but it's just the persona, the comedy, and you know what, the either like serious or unseriousness still has that like, animation value to it, just letting you know that this is all just for fun. It man was so much fun to watch. Thank you guys for checking out my review. That's not the best, but that's my review for Across the Spider-Verse. You gotta watch it. You gotta watch it. It's so worth it. One love and peace.